welcome to a Mutant Manifesto, Frozen Rhizome. This is my first in-person episode with a guest. I'm here in Raye's beautiful home. Raye, can you introduce yourself real quick?
Yes, my name is Raye. I live in the north side of Minneapolis, and I have a bodywork practice. I have a movement-based practice, meaning like I teach people movements that help them gain strength and flexibility and just feel more at home in their bodies. And then my bodywork practice, bodywork is also another word for massage. So I have a giant cushion that I roll out with a heating pad on it, and then I kind of just move people around, and we sync up nervous systems the more we meet, and people become more comfortable with me. We become more familiar with movement, and it's the revolution is relational, and part of it is the healing power of touch and movement.
Hell yeah. So this episode, I wanted to focus on like the body in times of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, we can kind of expand that as time allows to talk about potentially, I remember now the topic that I really wanted to hit at some point, which is this idea of like sympathetic nervous system and this experience of like empathy that you have where you catch people's ailments, sometimes even before you work with them. So we can kind of do that, but first I wanted to, Raye was actually detained in an early confrontation with ICE, at the beginning of the escalation this year. This year. So we're going to talk about that and stuff, but I guess before we get into that, just how is your somatic experience right now? How is your body? How are you feeling about the current ICE occupation? There's this talk of a potential drawdown, but which is very suspect, and even if it were to occur, that wouldn't stop the work that needs to be done or anything. So I just wanted to check in about how are you feeling at this point?
Not hopeful. I mean, I'm hopeful in other ways, but I'm not hopeful about them following through on that, because as we've seen in Gaza, when they say ceasefire, they keep bombing and killing. And what we've seen there is what they're doing here. This movement, this revolution is so incredibly neurodivergent, and I'm one of those people that has really strong pattern recognition skills. So I know that they're not telling the truth. I know that they're just becoming more disguised. Yesterday, somebody, and I had this response of, oh my God, come on. or the eye roll, of, I had somebody from a team I'm working on send me a screenshot of an ICE Watch thing that was showing all the activity was in the suburbs, and they were happy that it wasn't in Minneapolis, but I was like, look at the suburbs, man. Maybe the metro surge isn't over, but the suburbs are getting hit now, and they're less tight, and they have more MAGA people out there. Let's just be real. So
more people are more victims are more isolated.
Yes.
It's harder to patrol that and organize it for various reasons, including political alignment.
Yeah. So I'm personally feeling hopeful in the sense that we have created such strong networks here, and I feel like we can't hear this news and take it as fact. We can't. I hope most of us aren't even listening to it, which it sounds like most of us aren't. We're still going. We're going to keep going. I just worry that they're being given cop uniforms. I'm worried that they're being given, the cops obviously are working with them. And so I see it going in a different direction. And that's kind of the strategery of war is, all right, they're not listening. All right, they're resisting. Let's take it in a different direction. So for me personally, in this moment, I feel solid in what I'm doing as a person and as a open resistor. I feel, I don't know, I feel, 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 completely at home in my own body, and I know, every night I go to bed and I'm grateful to have a warm place to go to bed in, because tomorrow it might change. It just feels very, very, every day it just feels very important to just be grateful for what I got now. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, that gratitude for like the comforts that we experience. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to pair that with the experience, the like knowledge of the experience of like what it actually feels like to be abducted and stuff like that, and then relocated and stuff.
Right.
Not to mention the black box of what is occurring in the detainment facilities and things like that. So.
Yes.
But I think that like the gratitude for the safety and comforts that we have is like kind of, pretty important and essential to maintaining resistance, like keeping it going.
That's right. Yeah, I feel that, yeah, it is very important to be with each other in that gratitude, because so many people have been taken and are experiencing the worst of the worst right now. And, instead of, because there is a guilt that we experience, those of us, especially being detained and let go. Like, I was not afraid the whole time. I knew I'd be let go, but I was looking around at all the people around me who weren't going to be let go. And who knows where they are. I think about it every day, where I'm like, where did they go? What are their families doing? Are they okay? Because I have it's a privilege to be let go. And even the people who have gone through everything legally and they were sent to Texas and they have come back, it's like those people are never going to be the same. I experienced a tiny amount of what Black and brown people have experienced, people of color have experienced at this point and are experiencing. Like, let's keep reminding ourselves that this is ongoing. So a lot of times I will feel the guilt of that, and I will feel some sort of shame for the body I'm in and the place I'm in life. And instead of feeding that and feeling, woe is me, this shit sucks, am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very,
Okay, cool.
It can be a very debaucherous podcast.
Haha, excellent. Okay. But yeah, I feel like it's so much, I can feel that guilt, and I'm okay owning it and feeling it and owning my place in life, and then also reminding myself like I'm doing stuff to make this, to resist and cause a disruption and be different every day. So there is it's uncomfortable. Like, yes, we have comforts, and I'm uncomfortable most of my day. So you just get used to being uncomfortable, and you get used to confronting people. And I am, at this point, I'm very used to disrupting white people's viewpoints and spaces and questioning and challenging what they share with me, and just like turning it around and saying, okay, but did you think of it from a different perspective, or do you understand this microaggression that I heard you say or do, just like, it's the call out. I have a friend who calls it calling out to uplift, and it's calling out not to demean the person or to be like, you're bad, but it's to uplift them into understanding like your placement on earth.
Yeah, totally.
And that's where the empathy.
Yeah.
That's where the empathy comes in. Is that muscle we have to exercise.
Yes, I mean we in our like pre-conversation, I mentioned like being maybe like utilitarian hedonism or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like all about trying to maximize pleasure and stuff.
Yeah.
And minimize suffering.
Yep.
For me, but like that's kind of my ideological framework at the base. But the issue that comes up, why it's so complicated, it's not actually so simple. Is that like, you experience these comforts, but then you have that also like awareness and experience that, I mean, the comfort is soured by the knowledge that like other people are like, so therefore to make yourself feel better too, you have to engage in resistance and stuff. Also I just wanted to, also it's very true, like being being like handcuffed by a hostile force is like mind-blowingly, like it just opens you up to like, damn, this is what it feels like. And
Yes.
it's something that's really hard to describe. It's very difficult to describe the experience of violence. Like it kind of escapes words. But yeah, that's like a moment of empathy that like I've also experienced. That's that just like that connection to like this huge history of enslavement and detainment and colonial, being on the receiving end of colonial violence and everything. Speaking of which, should we take some time to talk about like what the events that led up to your detainment as much as you'd like to
Yeah, we can
talk
do
about?
that.
And like how that relates to your position within the resistance movement.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm going outward in, because I had taken a training, like a legal observer training, and I think within that week, the bro text raid happened. And so I got the text message, and then it was a day where I had dropped my kid off, and I was like, oh, I'm doing nothing, so I'll go. Like I just felt the pull. So I went, and that is where I first experienced getting pepper sprayed. I mean, they didn't even waste any time. They had that shit out, and and so
like for the record, like can you go over a little bit more of like
Sure.
the actual, like, setting the scene of what the actual event was, like the Brotec?
Yeah, I think 14 or 15 people were detained, and it was out the back of the building. It was a huge, long warehouse, and I was not near where they were being taken out, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't quite even know how. What I saw, I'll just say what I saw. I saw a white woman walking ICE to the front door. I have a video of it too, where she was walking ICE to the front door, one of the agents with a helmet, like he was militarized as, yeah. And everybody, like all the ICE people had on FBI, DEA, and there were family members there who were talking about how like there was one man who said my dad just goes to work and comes home. What is going on? Like, what is this? He's not a criminal. I don't get it. And that was like the first instance of me in like relationally understanding this is not right. Because I knew it wasn't right. I know none of this is right already. But when you witness it in person, it completely shifts your understanding. And that is the body, like your body being in a space of people being wrongly taken. That is, and their family members crying. It's like your body really feels it. It's one thing to watch it on a screen, but in real life, it's like, man, it hit hard. And we weren't very organized. There were people there who were more oriented towards, okay, this is what we do now. This is what we do now. But eventually they all got him into the van and drove off, and they shot pepper bullets. Or rubber bullets, I think, at that one. It wasn't the pepper ones yet. That was at the back of the building by the vans.
Yeah. So it was like a mass abduction into like a warehouse. And this was early in the occupation, so it was...
It was not the occupation. It was November 28th, I believe. Or November... Was that the Rose Street one? Rose Street was to 28th. So Brotex was before that. It was in the teens, maybe.
Got it, yeah. So it makes sense that people were a little bit less organized, you know? But so like let's talk about so like you can continue with your like experience, like your narrative of it.
Yeah, and we ended up gathering around this car or SUV, not letting somebody leave, and they were pushing us and shoving us back, and I kept saying, I had my hands in the air and I was saying, I'm unarmed, I'm not here to hurt anyone, this is not okay, like, over and over. And then we were linking arms, and then they pepper sprayed us. And I kind of collapsed in the street, and 3 people came around me and helped me up and walked me over and asked, can we help you? Yep. And I listened to all their cues and endured the pain of the eyes being washed out. And then 5 minutes later, I was fine because I listened to, kept my eyes open. That's the secret to getting pepper spray out. Keep your eyes open and keep washing them out.
Yeah.
And yell about it. It's fine. Like, it hurts.
Yeah.
And then, so then I was able to get up and help other people and be with other people for that painful experience. And then afterwards, like, I didn't really process it till maybe 2 days later. I really was down about it. Like, oh my God, where are they? Where are all these people? And I just had this existential crisis of, what are we going to do? How are we going to help each other through this? And yeah, it was really hard. It was really hard. And I just imagined all the families at home without their person, their loved one. Yeah, it hurts. Hurts to think about.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to can you describe the somatic experience of being pepper sprayed?
Yeah, and I'm in a place in my life where I just kind of I'm really good at feeling my feelings. I'm really good at feeling what my body is going through. And so I just I was sprayed. I started walking away, and I was like dry heaving. I was kind of throwing up. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I collapsed. I was like, I cannot see, and I'm in the street. So I just collapsed, and I thought, I'm just going to let people, I know other people are pepper sprayed too, so I'm just going to let myself sit. And then hearing other people, feeling the touch of people picking me up and sitting me on the curb and walking me through all of it, I was so at ease. I wasn't ever scared, and my body never felt like I'm in grave danger. I just felt like, man, I'm in pain and this sucks. And that was in the moment. But then realizing that they're poisoning us and they just wanted us to get away so they could leave. That was really, it just was really demeaning. It's chemical weapons. It's chemical warfare, This shit is Orange. Mm-hmm. Agent Orange. Vietnam. Come on. We're not, I just think we're being actively, we're coming in, it's my body gets so amped. My heart's pounding because we're showing up to defend people who are not criminals. We're here to protect people. And I get this all the time, mostly from white people, that, oh, you got to save your complex. And it's I'm not here to save anyone. I'm here to protect communities that are being criminalized for being here because they were told it's safe here. They were told you can do your dreams here. And then they come here and they come to find that, okay, now you're a criminal because you're here. That's where that hopelessness comes from. That's where that existential, what the fuck am I living in? What do I represent? I don't call myself an American. I'm ashamed. To be an American.
Yep.
And yet so many people come here with this dream. So many people still have this dream here, even with all this going on. So that's where I go when I think about them pepper spraying me, is this long train of thought of what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
And I can't help it when I think about that first instance, that I just go straight to, they've been taught to just be afraid of us because we're protecting people. How crazy is that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that my thesis with frozen rhizome is that the occupation is symbolically speaking, just like a indictment of care, and so it's like it's literally a it's a criminalization of care.
Criminalization of care.
Yeah, like it's a hostile attempt to discipline us into not caring for our neighbors.
Fuck that shit. Damn. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. That's what I think. And I think, I mean, and I've talked about in previous episodes of Frozen Rhizome that, like, that care is something that I am struggling with a little bit and I'm trying to learn about and get better at.
You're struggling with yourself or with
in my personal life and also for others, like, because those things are related.
Definitely.
Like doing your laundry and like meditating and
showering is the worst. I don't know if you can tell. It's very hard to take care of yourself.
Yeah. And then like those things are I think related symbolically and materially and psychologically to the ways that we engage with our people we love and also our neighbors and the world around us.
Yeah.
So I think that it's like an internal, it's an internal battle or negotiation that we are all can have stake in, and I think that it's undervalued and like literally shamed and criminalized in conservative America to like actually extend genuine care, outside of like very narrow family bonds or whatever. And there's also an interesting dynamic about how there's like a fake type of care, or a fake kind of like the sham element of America, that says that you will be cared for and that that you will have potential or that we want you here, that comes with a cost,
Yes.
So but anyway, so do you want to talk more about any of that stuff before we move into discussing like how your resistance has begun to incorporate care for the body?
Yeah. I mean it's a great segue, I think, is the what we grew up with, or what I grew up with anyway, was we care about everybody to a point, and only people who are in our church community and not our we knew our neighbors, but we like knew dirt on our neighbors. And we were like friends, kind of friends, but not really. We didn't have block
like this competitive thing with your neighbors. It's almost like,
Yeah. And it wasn't, and even I've lived in my house now 8 years, and I threw a block party. I tried to be block leader a couple summers ago, and one guy comes out the house and he was like, I've lived here longer than you. Why are you doing this now? And I was like, I don't know, because I just want unity. I want peace. I want to bring people together. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm sorry. And then he brought his puppy out, and we were all pretty cool.
Okay, there you go.
So it is that, like, we're all pretty used to this idea of our nuclear families and like that. I mean, we were shown that was the American dream, right? Is that you have this dream family in your home and the picket fence and shit. But the real, I feel like the nuclear family is only strong if you're able to go out and be a family and community. And I'm understanding that more now, and like that's why my personal my marriage didn't work, is because I'm like, we need to be out with people, we need to be connecting with people and getting a stronger foundation. We can't do this on our own. And we were just very different. We had a conversation yesterday about how different we are in that way. Like, he prefers less people in his life, and I prefer way more, like the connection. I make new connections every day. I talk to people at the grocery store. Like, I just love people. And I've really come to rely on community and know that there's nothing wrong with caring for each other and sharing resources, and that is very important to me. And I have a very strong resource of care and love to give. And I think that's why I took the direction I did after I was detained, is like, okay, well, now they know who I am. Now they could come to even though I did nothing to be detained, I was literally just screaming about peace into a megaphone. Like, they took me because they said I was too loud. Shut your mouth. So after that, even and like, I'm not like I said, the whole time I wasn't afraid, but when I spent like 3.5 hours in a cell by myself, and I kept thinking, like, I am not afraid at all. And that factor of guilt crept in, and I just, I made peace with the fact that I'm going to get out of here today, and I have the audacity to be loud. So how can I be loud in other ways? Well, I can be loud by caring for people. I can be loud by reminding people that they matter and their voice matters, and they're able to rapid respond, they're able to patrol, so I will care for you afterward because you're doing that work now that I used to do. And so now I'm like passing the baton, you know?
Yeah, it's like, when are we enabled? That's an interesting thing for me. It's like, when are we enabled to be on the front lines? When are we enabled to engage in mutual aid? When are we enabled to engage in resistance?
Yes.
Like, you actually need to have a sense of belonging and a sense of being cared for and cared about. Like, that's actually a requirement for that.
Yes. Yeah, and to criminalize caring for people. I mean, they in the, like, let's talk about money and the massage, the whole like the way they audit massage therapists in this country, and the way they go after their money. Yeah, it was a whole thing in business and ethics in school.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so like, so I'm interested in talking about your bodywork practice and just generally bodywork. So yeah, actually, I'm very curious now, like, this is interesting, the idea that we are expected, with healthcare too, it's like you have to pay for it, like, so much, which is a very unique thing. It's a very unique thing for our country
and
how
our culture. Like, even nurses get the worst health insurance. Like, it's
so like, it sounds like that extends to body work and stuff. Like, I mean, I know that it's like really expensive to get a massage. I mean,
it can be. I work on a sliding scale, so I like to meet people where they're at. And even my sliding scale, you know, for activists and for people who are struggling, I'll say, you know, 60 is as low as I go. And even if that's too high, pay me 30 now and 30 later. Like, we'll figure it out.
Well, but I mean, also, like, you've been doing these, like, weekly, like, events where we, like, it's a community support event where we all just are there, like, you know, playing games and talking and stuff. And then also people offer pro bono bodywork on each other and on activists and everything. So that's like, so yeah, you go as low as that sometimes.
Sometimes I don't get paid at all. So
I just wanted to, you know, that's kind of the I've seen that come up a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of people offering body work. And I was at this, like, rave that was like pay what you can, and they were doing, like, there were tattoo people doing, like, free tattoos and, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and, like, Modern Times was
badass.
doing like, I mean, there's, like, all these, like, food places that are doing, like, free models. That's I think that is like a potential revolutionary direction. In general, but that doesn't mean that you don't need money under capitalism.
Right. Yeah, and so that is where the difficulty comes in, because there was 1 week where I had 3 cancellations in 1 week.
Oof.
Yeah, and I was like, well, shit, I can't, you know, I was unsure if I could pay my bills, and now I know I can't. But it was cool because one of the teams I am a leader of and do a lot of work for, they said, man, I see you all the time, Raye. I see you out there. Thank you so much for all you're doing, and I want to buy you a gift card to your favorite restaurant. And I was like, ha 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 ha, actually. I need money.
Yeah, I mean, you could just give me money.
Yeah, and I said that in the thread, and I was like, I'm really struggling, 3 cancellations, blah, blah, blah. I do a lot of work for this team. So if you can, great. If not, it's okay. I just thought I'd say that. And I ended up being able to pay all my bills. And
amazing.
They all contributed. It was quite... It was quite amazing, and it just reminded me, like, we cannot do this. I could not have done that without.
Yep.
I would have. I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah, I mean, the last episode I did that just came out was on mutual aid, and just like, I mean, that's like one of the essential components of this moment too.
Asking for help.
Yeah, you need to, but everyone needs things like being or like receiving and giving things.
Yes.
Both.
Yep. Because what I learned in business and ethics really scared me. And the way I was taught, it was just really fear-based.
Huh.
And all the hoops you have to jump through, and all the licensing. And in Minnesota, you have to be licensed in each city you go to. So if you are someone who travels to people's houses, you're supposed to get there's just all these rules, right? And so I struggle with that, because I think we need less. There's so many regulations around how we care for people, and there's so many liabilities. I was a doula. Do you know what a doula is? Okay, I was a doula for a long time, and I was a student midwife for a little bit, and it was crazy the amount of liabilities there are with insurance, and the rules around how you can treat people. Not treat people like doctor treat people meaning care for people. Yeah, like how I behave towards them.
How can you relate to people?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's true of a lot of it's true of therapy. It's true of healthcare. It's true of education, especially early childhood. Which you can understand why those regulations are in place, but this idea of liability is indeed quite fear-based, and it's set up in this whole legal system, and that's very it doesn't, I don't know, it feels kind of dissociative or something.
Yes. Dissociative is,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And that it's to cause us to be complacent, or I don't even, because it would make me not even want to try. And I think that's the point.
To connect with somebody, or try what?
To do this work. So for a good year, I barely had client. I mean, I had a steady amount, but I couldn't, there's no way I could live off of it. I had another job too. But it was just, I wasn't motivated because it was too much work. And I have ADHD, so if there's a mountain that seems too high, I'm like, fuck it, I'm not even going to climb it. I'm going to focus on what I got down here.
Absolutely.
At the foothills. And
feel that.
Yeah. It's it's not even worth it to some. I see it, that's cute. Okay, I don't need to experience it.
Yeah, because you just know it'll be a whole thing.
Yeah.
You'll be distracted on a million different paths.
Yep.
On the way.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about, let's get into, let's talk about what you are motivated by within Bodywork.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you're passionate about within Bodywork.
Oh my gosh.
How did you get into it? What is your practice? Why do you connect with it so much?
Yeah. Well, I hated being touched when I was a kid. I grew up into this teenager that just when you hugged me, my skin crawled. I felt like there were spiders all over me. And I didn't connect with people that way. My family, my extended family thought it was hilarious. Oh, Rachel doesn't like being touched. So let's all hug her and chase her. And
yikes.
It was fucked up.
No, but that's so,
It was gross.
Such a thing, though.
It was the 90s
and
early 2000s. People didn't know about boundaries and consent and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Totally.
So I just grew into this little shell of a person who would lash out, like I just wasn't well, and I was forced to go to college, and then I tried 3 times and it didn't work, and so I've just been.
Do you think ADHD was part
hell
of
yeah.
Yeah,
oh
for
my
sure.
God,
Were
I
you
can't
diagnosed
get through.
As a child? Okay, gotcha.
Not as a child. I was diagnosed like 2 years ago.
Oh, well, okay. That's what I'm saying. Like as a child, child or young adult.
Yeah.
Having undiagnosed ADHD.
Yes.
Can be very challenging on top of everything
detrimental. Like it really made, because I was like extremely depressed and suicidal, and up until maybe 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I finally, like, it's not an option anymore, which is great. Like my whole life I was like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I can relate to that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but keep going. Sorry.
No, sorry.
I
The revolution is relational.
Yes, and right. I mean, rhizomes. Do you know the idea of whatever? We don't have to get into that. We are. Yeah. I mean, this. The conversation can go in a million different directions.
It can.
And it's kind of fun to let it wander. But let's talk about the work.
Yes. Yes. So I slowly through because I've been teaching yoga since I was 20. I'm 36, so it's 16 years.
So you got into yoga pretty early, like.
Yeah, my mom would take me as a teenager.
Oh wow, okay.
And so then I took a weekend training because my sister did it, so I took a training, and then I was very soon after that just teaching classes, and I was a natural at it. Like I just knew, like with the people who I would show up to classes at the gym, I would just kind of know how to move them, and they loved it, and I had really good feedback. I had really good attendance, and I was just this very young person understanding people. It was very easy. It was an easy thing for me to do. And so over the years, that's the only job I really kept at over the years. And then I took a teacher training where we learned hands-on adjustments, which I was very scared to do because I don't want to hurt anybody. So I was just very afraid. I didn't have the confidence. But then in 2021, I started massage school, and I just had a feeling. I just thought maybe this is my direction now. And in those 2 years I went to school, 2.5, I think actually, but I really worked through a lot of my like touch stuff, where, I mean, you have to, and it's like regular massage, it's table massage, so very vulnerable. I mean, you're basically working with your class for the first 3 months, so everybody gets to know each other pretty well, and then you get into clinic where you're giving strangers massages after 3 minutes of getting to know what they need, which is really hard to do. But again, I had this easy way of hearing what somebody needed, watching the way they walked from the lobby to the dressing room to the table, and then just knowing what to do. And then I think out of 200 something massages, I had one review that was like, "You're not that great." But that's it. I have all these feedback sheets that are like, "Oh my gosh, how did you know?" Or, it was just, it's very intuitive for me.
Interesting.
And again, like watching the way people walk, I can tell a lot about a person and how you move and ask you questions. And then as I moved into Thai bodywork, which is the movement-based, like assisted stretching, I like to tell people, I don't think this is great, but I say it anyway because it's funny, that it's like baby yoga for grown-ups. And I don't sing to people like I would with a baby, but like I could.
I'm sure you do sometimes, don't you? I mean, you must.
I should. That'd be nice.
Yes. Yeah, you're doing all the work for them. You're like, here you go. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And so with that though, I noticed that I started to feel aches and things in my body that I had that were unfamiliar. But then when I would see the person the next day, I would understand, I felt what you feel. And it's not all the time, but it's pretty it's frequent enough where I'm like, oh, so I take on people's pain. And people will respond, like, people might hear this and think, oh, you need a protection, whatever, mantra. And it's like, well, maybe this is just a gift that I receive and I'm okay with pain. Like, I really am. And that's one of the things I've also worked through is, like, bodies are supposed to feel pain, but to the point of, like, transformation. To the point of, like, my body's telling me I need to be cared for, so I better go get care. But a lot of us will be in pain and then not get care, or be in pain and suffer through it alone, which is my hope I want to revolutionize the way that we care for ourselves, in that, like, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to have somebody put their hands on you and say, oh, you don't feel okay, do you? You know, and I think, like, people have cried on my mat. I had a person one time tell me they feel like they may have died on my mat, and, like, their ego death, not like real died, but, like, they came back to life and things looked different, and just they live different now, which is interesting to me, where there's, well,
like, I mean, I don't know, like, it reminds me of, like, doula work, like threshold stuff, and I mean, you yourself are a mother, so, like, the radically painful experience of, like, motherhood, and then, like, you know, I think just, like, being female-bodied, experiencing, like, periods and stuff, like, pain is a regular experience for, like, cis women, or, you know, female, I don't know, whatever, people with uteruses.
People with uteruses.
But,
yes, precisely.
So,
thank you.
But those are, and then also the people who are also, like, chronically ill people, disabled people, like, people who experience pain as a regular part of their lives, I think, can relate to that, like,
definitely, just,
like, the reverence of and acceptance of pain. And that's very cool and very interesting. I mean, I think I wanted to. So I've got three things now. Okay. I've got three threads here that I think are very interesting, like, live wires.
Yeah.
One of them is this. One of them is your transformation from somebody who didn't like to be touched and felt uncomfortable being touched, and then developing into somebody who uses touch as, like, your, like, work with a capital W. The second one is this experience of, like empathy for clients' discomfort, and, like, what that means. There's, like, this a lot of people. There's kind of like a meme in, like, esoteric online circles about, like, being an empath, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
But I don't know if I've heard that. Everyone's, you know, people joke about everyone being like, oh, I'm an empath. Yeah. But really it's just as, like, them being, I don't know.
Right. We're all empaths. It's just who's exercised that muscle to the point of, like.
Well, and then there's also, like, I believe in that, like, people have different proclivities that they're just, like, just intrinsic to them. Yeah. And so, like, people have different gifts, as they might call them. Like, I believe that. Yeah. And so there's a distinction between somebody who just kind of signals, like, oh, I'm an empath, but is really just, like, emotionally unregulated or whatever, versus somebody who actually experiences, like, sympathetically actual, like, physical ailments. So that's interesting. And then the third one is just the pain idea, like, pain being transformative and pain being essential to, like, accept just, like, transformation and stuff. But so, like, so if you don't mind, like, I'm really interested to start with that transformation of, like, your own transformation from somebody who was uncomfortable being touched. Yeah. You mentioned that it might have kind of shifted during your, like, school.
Yes. And part of it was spiritual, in that, like, I accepted, because back then I was still pretty suicidal. I would just get real, and I was atheist at the time. Like, for years I was like, nothing exists, nothing. I was a nihilist. I was, you know, we're just here to be here and die. And somebody in massage school, while I thank her to this day, because she got really upset with me that I didn't believe in anything. I didn't believe in energy. I didn't believe, like, I just didn't understand. I was like, I'm just touching bodies. It's just about bodies. But she was really upset with me. She was like, I just want to be your friend. And it was a weird push-pull thing. And then we had this upheaval, and we repaired it with the teacher, and it was okay after that. We didn't really work together that much, but we were okay with each other, whatever. But then I started to notice, because I was feeling, like, because I was so intuitive and feeling what the people felt, I was like, oh, there is more to this than just touch. Like, we are moving things in people. I would just notice the transformation in people, especially, like, so many people just wanted to hurt so good, right? They wanted pain.
Like, beat me up.
Yeah.
Like,
put an elbow in my back, right? And so I had and I was in so much pain for the first part of clinic. And a lot of my classmates were too. Like, they were not teaching us good body mechanics. I'm not going to lie. Like, it wasn't a great school. And I figured out, because one day my kids and I were watching School of Rock, and Jack Black was, like, showing the power stance to hold the guitar, and he's School of Rock.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, that's it. That's the secret, the power stance. So I lowered my table 2 notches the next time I was at school, and I tried it. And so basically my lower body got so, like, I've never been stronger, because my lower body was, like, doing, and I was like, imagine pouring over a person. So I was using the weight of my body to get to all the places people, like, you want that much pressure? Well, I have to put my weight into it now. And then they would send the people to me who got, like, I would get the people who wanted lots of pressure, and they would look at me and be like, really? But then I would deliver,
right.
And they'd be like, oh, shit, that was better than I thought it would be.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so then when I started Thai bodywork, when I started, like, the floor, cushion on the floor practice, I know how to move myself, and I know how to put weight. Like, I'm just it's so much more natural to me now to put my weight into it. And I can, like, sometimes I walk on people's backs, and I know where to place my weight and how to shift.
Yeah.
And so then in receiving, so then on the other side of it, in receiving all of this work too, I'm understanding what felt right to me and what didn't. And when I could feel the person, like that person I worked with who was mad at me because I didn't believe in energy, I could feel her nervous energy when she was working on me, and I was just so irritated. And I was like, she's just, like, she's really, the way she touched me was so tickly and weird that it was like, I understood energy, because her energy was tickly and weird. It wasn't the way she was touching me. It was the way that her intention was just like, I want her to like me. It was kind of like that desperation energy. Which I played into. So, like, the moving through all of that has caused me, like, I can hug my friends now, and I can even sit with a friend, and they can have their arm around me, and I can be okay with that now. And I can just, like, I'm uncomfortable, but I know it's through love, and I know it's through, like, because I trust them, and that they're trying to make me feel loved. They're not trying to make me feel weird. I feel the impact. It's like intention versus impact. The intention is love, and the impact on me is that I feel weird, but I can accept the love, so I'm just gonna let it be strange. And I have a lot of touchy-feely friends who will, like, sit together and hold hands and like that, and I don't do that. Like, I can only take so much.
Yeah.
But
interesting. I mean, so, like, it's like almost like working, like, treating touch as a thing that you're learning about, as like a practice, as like a conscious learning thing, helps you build tolerance for
tolerance
of physical affection in your personal life as well.
Yep. Because our American culture is just so, you're isolated, don't touch, like,
well, it's
we
either
have
that,
a lot of space.
I mean, it's either that or like touch forward in non-consensual ways.
Yes.
Or just like, it's like emphasizes it. I mean, it emphasizes the body in like a kind of a pornographic way.
Yes.
Which is kind of very touch-based, but also like, it's also very non-intimate. It's like it's for it's very visual. It's very performative, and once again, kind of dissociative. But anyway, so like, the intimacy of physical touch is. Why do you think you were so sensitive to that? I mean, do you think that there's a reason, like, that you, do you think that, like, your, there's a cat by the recording.
Pitter patter.
Do you think that your, potentially, like, your intuitive ability to, like, understand what people are going through, like, your kind of sensitivity to other people's nervous systems was part of why you were so sensitive to touch?
I've never thought about that. Maybe I've always just been sensitive. I mean, I've thought about it, just not in those terms of being a kid and being sensitive. But yeah, now looking back, there's so many times where I just felt so much, and such big feelings and big emotions and big expression, but then being told I'm too much. And it's really hard it was really hard to cope with all of it as a kid. And there wasn't enough knowledge, not knowing about ADHD in little girls especially, and how it manifests different in girls than it did with boys. And when we went through the assessment, me and my therapist, that's a lot of what it is talking about childhood and what would happen when I would have big feelings as a kid. And my emotions were just like, I was almost diagnosed with borderline personality disorder when I was like 20, in my 20s, late 20s. And I was hospitalized a bunch. Not a bunch, it felt like a bunch. It was like partial hospitalizations, those little programs, and then I was in the hospital inpatient for a while. But they really wanted to diagnose me with borderline, and I was like, I just don't, like, I have the symptoms, but those are behaviors to me. And I was taking DBT, which was like, it was like, use these skills, and it just felt like, okay, but I'm having these feelings, and you want me to use these skills that are I'm not like moving through anything. We're just stifling or putting a cap on these feelings, and then, okay, good, we're relaxed. Like, go get some ice and put it under your eyes. Right, but things are happening. So I now understand, like, being unmedicated. It's not that I don't, it's just I don't do the medication, but I'm not medicated. But you were
back in the day.
I was very heavily, okay. They tried everything.
Yeah.
And I feel so much still, but I know now, like, what I need to move through. And sometimes I just need to go to bed for 15 minutes and, like, cry and be in the dark underneath 3 comforters and a weighted blanket and just, like, feel it. And then I can get up and do my shit.
Yeah. You mentioned at the beginning that this revolution is really neurodivergent.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that like neurodivergence is oftentimes people link it to esoteric practices. Basically, having a non-consensus understanding of reality or experience of reality. And I do think that, like, liberating, like, neurodivergent ways of being is tied up in the, like, is revolutionary as well.
Yes.
Is one of the many fronts of this potential revolutionary moment that we live in.
Yes.
So I wonder if maybe to, like, I don't know, do you want to talk more about that? I mean, I'm curious, we were at like 53 minutes. We could kind of coming to a culmination of all these threads. I mean, not a culmination, but like bring them all together. So like how we've got like neurodivergence, we've got this experience of empathy and like this processing of pain, like accepting of strong feeling and pain. And then we have the bodywork, and then we have the revolution, like the actual material realities of the revolution. Like, do you want to like, I don't know.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Go,
I totally got it.
Let's go.
Because what we're doing here right now in this revolutionary moment is we are learning how to be human and be a soul. Like we are there's an understanding coming together. Like when you speak on esoteric practices, and like, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a witch. Like I worship the earth, and I move with the earth. I move with the moon. I'm not like, you can't classify me because I just go with my own thing. I don't have a coven or anything. That'd be really cool, but I don't practice anything regular besides the moon, like following the moon. And what I've learned through the witchery and through all of the things, I'm like following what my body and what my connection to the earth tells me to do. And so personally, I can say I go to the river and I thank the sun, the fire, I thank the air, I thank the earth, I thank the water. And I think that my body's made up of all of those things. And then I go out into the world, and I go where I call it, I just say the goddesses. I go where the goddesses tell me to go. And I happen to be where I need to be. Like the example of being detained, I was supposed to see all that. I was supposed to see it, and I was supposed to speak on it and come back and do something different. Like I was supposed to take a direction of care. And so feeling pain in the body, experiencing other people's pain, experiencing and listening to people without being defensive and deflecting and denying like a lot of white-bodied people do. I believe it is my responsibility with people to hold it with them, not for them. I'm not saving anybody. Like I said, I'm not doing it for them, or processing for them, but I'm just a vessel and a tool. Haha, I'm not a tool. I have tools. I'm a vessel.
I mean, you could be instrumental.
Yes, I'm instrumental.
Maybe an instrument, right?
Yes, I'm an instrument. I love that. I'm an instrument of processing your own experience on Earth and how magical it can be to have these shitty ass times we're in, and just noticing like we can make a difference. And our souls are called to earth at this time. Like for some reason, we're all alive right now. For some reason, we're all alive. And we're all discovering our gifts and leaning. A lot of us are leaning into them. Like, look at you and your gifts right now. You're so good at this. Coming up with a structure on the fly and interviewing and being with people. And then you're amplifying my gifts so that I feel stronger in what I do, because talking through it and processing with people one-on-one is a big part of how we are going to go out into the world and do it different for the rest of the day today even, so bringing it all together, it's like this America, the word melting pot comes to mind because it's what was always used when I was a kid. We're just a melting pot. But now I'm understanding, like, if we want that to be true, we have to stop treating each other like shit. We have to stop looking at each other and dehumanizing each other, even dehumanizing ICE. I do that because they're so mean, where I'm like, well, they're not human. They can't be. If they can't understand that what they're doing is wrong, they're less human than me. But that's not even true. They're just, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. I won't even touch that, actually.
Yeah.
But it is a thought I have, is that we are all here doing this human thing, and they think what they're doing is right somehow, but you and I both know that treating people like that is wrong.
Yeah, it's not good for you either, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of a stickler for deconstructing the idea of human, actually. But I mean, I know that it works for you, but like, that's part of this project is the idea that we should focus on the mutant instead of the human, because we're all like, with this cat here is also important. So
she's
like,
very important.
there's no need to focus on just the human. But I mean,
true. No, I love that.
Something that I just like. It's kind of annoying. Some people get annoyed when I do that.
I'm not annoyed at all.
But I think that we can replace the human with the mutant, because it also allows us all to be different but also like collective at the same time.
Yes.
But anyway, I mean, that's kind of silly. But
it's not silly. It's not silly.
Yeah. But so yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I've kind of on previous episodes I kind of have this thing where I tend to end things on really downer notes, but
excellent.
I do think that, like, as someone who's also like been suicidal for basically my whole life as well, like, I think that there's something about
this day still.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a similar thing that you've said, that like at this point, like, that's not really an option.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've had this experience, but we talked about thresholds a little bit during this episode.
Yes.
During this conversation, and I feel like there have been times when I felt like the door was open for that, and you kind of attempt to, or you try to, like, you negotiate with that door.
Yeah.
And the part of you, the versions of you that remain, the parts of you that persist and continue, once you go through that negotiation, the parts that remain are indeed, like, here for a purpose and to experiment with something. And so I think that there's something magical about working with, like, death thresholds.
Yeah.
Because it enlivens the possibilities for existence on the other side of them.
Yes.
And I do believe, I've been feeling like networks, like magical networks, as well as mutual aid networks and revolutionary networks that exist in covert ways that you can tap into if you spend time doing that. And I think that it's not just the two of us who have gone through those negotiations.
Right.
And I think that that's part of, once again, the symbolic moment that we're facing now.
Yeah.
Is like a step along the journey of, like, figuring out why we decided to remain, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that, like, to me, like, care for the body, care for one another, it is pretty terrifying, actually.
Yeah. It is.
But that's the work that I see you doing, and that I'm very glad you're doing. And yeah, I respect it quite a lot. And yeah, thank you so much for doing that, and for being so forthcoming and sharing everything in this conversation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. I'm glad we made this work.
Yeah. Is there anything, are there any last things you want to mention? Is there anywhere you want people to check out, or like any mutual aid things you want to mention, or anything like that? I mean,
oh gosh, there's so many.
It's okay.
Just get localized. Get with your neighborhood. Get with your, I won't mention any in specific, but I just think it's really important to know your neighbors. Even if you say hi and they're like, fuck you, at least you said hi, and maybe they'll come around. And I also, there is something very important about seeing the same faces over and over. If you end up at a care gathering they're happening everywhere now, or a meeting, a neighborhood meeting, anything, and you just keep showing up. Make it a regular thing. If you can only attend one a week, there's so many to choose from, but if you can just do one a week, just keep going. Just keep going every single day. If you can get out of bed and find one thing to be grateful for and just keep going, sometimes that can be enough for one day. And yeah, we can be with that. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Goodbye.